All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. We're going to talk about that interior offensive line. TPP putting out some numbers that were just shockingly gross. So we're going to talk about it. This episode brought to you by BetUS. Right now, you can get 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 with promo code YouTube150, followed by 125% deposit bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000. Hit up BetUS. Great customer service, fast payouts. And we're going to be taking a look at how they got the Vikings-Rams shaking out here in a little bit.
Yeah, before we talk about that, let's look how this interior O-line is shaking up. And you mentioned that crazy stat by TPP, and I got it here. So let's start with Ed Ingram. He's allowing more pressures per snap than any other of the 51 qualified guards in the NFL. More pressures per snap. Let's just start with Ed Ingram. I mean, is that stat like, oh, my God, I can't believe it? You're like, okay, it sounds right.
I guess it's a little bit of both. And we all know, I mean, we're not breaking news that the interior offensive line isn't great. It's more like how bad they actually are and how good the Vikings are still doing. So back to your question, is that number shocking? So he has allowed more pressures than any 51 other qualified guards. So he's basically last.
He's the worst.
He's the worst as far as allowing pressures. And you know what? We see it week in and week out. Luckily, Sam Bradford is very good against the blitz, against pressure. He can make things happen. But this is like, if Dalton Reisner isn't out there, there's something wrong. Something's broken.
If you need any kind of proof to back up how bad Ed Ingram is, it's right here in black and white. He's the worst. He is the worst. So that means anything else potentially will be better. So, yes, let's try Dalton Reisner there. Give Sam Darnold a little more time in the pocket, and maybe we can convert some of those late drives that, win us ball games. Let's go over to the center.
He's bad. I mean, before you go to the center, I mean, he's good against the run. There's still a lot of Ed Ingram fans out there. Like, in our comments, I'm surprised about how people still Ed Ingram ain't as bad as he thinks. He's still young. He's still going to do this. To me, that time is past.
Yeah.
He should be better by now. He showed glimpses year 2. He showed glimpses as a rookie. But he's just not – I don't think he's going to get any better.
Well, it's year 3.
You can play anybody and it'd be better, I think. Anybody,
We're almost 2.5 seasons into his career, and, he's not getting better, especially in the pass protection side of things. So that is the alarm, and the fact that he's just the worst. You got to try something else. You have to try something else.
What's your alarm noise? All right, you went with the alarm clock. All right, I got it. That's cool. There's a lot of different alarms.
I almost went tornado siren, but I didn't.
You know what? I figured you were going to do the tornado. So, and Ed Ingram, good segue. He looks like a tornado sometimes. The dude is just spinning around. He looks lost. Ed, I'm sorry. One other thing, Ezra Cleveland, he's having a fantastic year. He's played a lot more snaps and a lot less pressures. He's grading out very favorably. Do you think they're maybe kicking themselves a little bit? Like, why did we move on from him?
I don't know. I look at the contract he got from Jacksonville. I know that was part of the issue. Like, were they going to pay him, commit to him? Didn't have a lot of money last year.
I'd pay him.
You look at it now, it's like, why wouldn't you just kept him?
Yeah, he's having a damn good year. All right, let's go to the other part of this interior offensive line issue, and that's Garrett freaking Bradbury, who is still signed through next year as well. So while this is a problem, I think it's safe to say it's going to be a problem that'll still be a problem next year.
Yeah, he's allowing more pressures per snap than any of the other 27 qualified centers in the NFL. So if I'm reading that right, it sounds like he may be the worst as well at center.
You know what? They're like, we're going to be the best at something, and they're going to be the best at being bad. So hats off to them. Before we talk about them a little bit more, let's go over to BetUS. And you can see the Vikings currently favored by 3 points. How do you feel about that in Los Angeles?
I'm a little insulted, actually. I think the Rams, no disrespect, but I don't think they're very good. Vikings coming off a tough loss. They're going to get that bad taste out of their mouths. I expect this to be a Viking steamroller kind of a game. And I know it's Thursday night, and I know that kind of levels the playing field, but I think they're going to be really pissed off Minnesota Vikings team coming in. I think that's a low line.
Look at these Lions, favored by 11.5.
Wow.
That's insane. Wow. Fair, but insane. Yeah, the Vikings 3 points. Whatever. We'll take the disrespect. Vikings are gonna spank them. So remember, use that promo code YouTube150. So back to Garrett Bradbury. Where's he rank?
He's 20. He's dead last. He's 27th out of 27th. Yeah, more pressures all than any other center who qualifies.
Yeah, they're just not good at pass blocking.
Well, the thing with Garrett Bradbury is the Vikings knew this. This new regime knew this, and they still gave him a couple more years. So they knew what they were getting. It's not like Garrett Bradbury is a secret. Like, we know what he does well, and we know he does bad. And what he does bad is pass protect. He's never been good at anchoring against big defensive linemen. That's always an issue. Sometimes he gets pushed right back in the quarterback's lap. But Kwesi knew this, KOC knew this, and they brought him back for a couple more years.
He's not the worst center in the league. No. He's not. I'll say he's not the worst starting center in the league. Like, he does have things. He's athletic, whatever. So he does do some good things. But and you got to look at what he's getting paid. It's not getting paid a ton, but we're just gonna have to ride the Garrett Bradbury train out. There's nobody pushing for his spot. He is what he is. Luckily, the Vikings offensive line does have some very wonderful pieces as well on the outside, and Blake Brandel is having a decent year. Not great, but not bad. So it just, we had to do a video on this just because it's flabbergasted.
It's statistically worse than we thought. Like, we knew they were bad. I don't think either one of us knew they were this bad to actually see these numbers. And at least with Ingram, there's a solution on the roster, and Dalton Risner. There really isn't when it comes to Garrett Bradbury. You can roll Dan Feeney, you can try Michael Juergens. No, you're going to keep Garrett Bradbury out there. So that's going to be an issue all season long. At least with Ed Ingram, there's maybe hope it gets better.
Yeah, there is hope. I don't think it's a huge improvement, but at least it's something different. So let us know in the comments. Remember, head over to BetUS, use promo code YouTube150, and join us live tonight, 5:15.
And remember this, there are libraries around the world where you can check out humans as living books and listen to their stories.